Right, we shall see. And before you go, Congresswoman, I want to ask you about President Trump praising his FCC chair, Brendan Carr, who threatened the licenses of local broadcasters over war coverage. You know, you've been critical in the past of networks like CNN, but you recently started joining programs like ours. You know, as you became disillusioned with Congress and wanted to get your voice out, I wonder how your view of mainstream media, quote unquote, has evolved now that you've been engaging with it more, and what you think of the latest threats against the press.
You know, I think freedom of press is one of the most important rights that we have as Americans, and I think it always needs to be protected. And I think it's the responsibility of journalists and media companies to get the truth out to the American people. And I never want to see a government take control and try to take that away. I think I feel the same way about freedom of speech. And so if we are to see censorship on social media platforms or censorship put on any type of media company, I think that's completely wrong. You know, and I watch a lot of international news, and a lot of the things I see on the international news, I don't see on our American media. And I find that to be extremely problematic. I think Americans are fed a lot of propaganda depending on the political views of the media platform or the personalities or the presenters on the media platform. And I think that's wrong. I think Americans deserve to see the truth. They are smart enough to come to their own conclusions. And no government, whether it's ruled by Republican or Democrat, should ever, I guess we should say, put a lid or put any type of threatening enforcements on media companies as they try to get the truth out.
Just really quickly, what have you seen in overseas coverage that you feel like is missing here in America from the press?
There's a lot more video of what's happening in Iran. There's a lot more video of what's happening in Lebanon, what's happening in Lebanon is horrific. You know, there was basically a genocide on Gaza, and Gaza was completely destroyed. And it's just wrong to tell Americans or make Americans think that every single Palestinian in Gaza was a member of Hamas. That's just not true. There were tens of thousands of innocent Palestinians murdered by these bombs that were dropped on them. And now the same thing is happening in Lebanon. And you see a lot of that war coverage on what you can find it in the international news, where it's more difficult to find in American news. And, you know, I think if we're not showing Americans what our tax dollars are being used for, and we send $3.8 billion to Israel, and if our money and our weaponry or any type of our ammunitions are being used to murder innocent people, especially women and children, I think that is just outrageous that the American people aren't told that. And so this is the type of coverage that I would like to see more of in the United States, because the American people deserve to know the truth.
I can say here in the Situation Room, Wolf and I have covered all of that extensively. I'm glad we had the time to